Nomad Podcast.
So, hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Nomad Podcast. And today I have Chris joining me. And Chris, I normally start the episode with people sharing their rabbit hole story and how they got into Bitcoin. So, would you like to do that? And of course, introduce yourself and who you are and what you do in the Bitcoin space.
Hi, Chris. I'm from Germany. I'm the founder CEO of Seedor. I'm the CEO of Bitsurance and of Satskeeper. And those are three Bitcoin companies that do with storage, inheritance, and insurance of Bitcoin. But those are rather new ventures, so they were started in 2021. My rabbit hole story, when did it start? So my first exposure to Bitcoin was really early on. I was a humble student at a technical university, and I had a friend of mine, and I've told this story before, but it's funny, I think. So he was an electrical engineer, or like studying to become one, and invited me over to his place, and he had a very small studio apartment, and on the balcony, he was like hoarding bottles upon bottles, because in Germany we have such a thing called bottle deposit. Like you get like 25 cents if you get like a plastic bottle. And I'm not sure if he was collecting them or if he was just too lazy to bring them away. And like his kitchen sink was full of dishes, everything dirty. He was like a regular, engineering student. And we were just like meeting each other because we were on our way to a party. And he said, "Hey, Chris, I made two amazing discoveries today." And I'm like, "Sure, what's that about? Can we like leave this place? It's nasty." And he said, like, if you take a frisbee and you flip it around and you line it with tinfoil and you eat from it, you can just discard the tinfoil. You never have to do dishes again. I'm like, wow, amazing. Let's go. The second discovery, Chris,
Okay.
have you heard about Bitcoin? I was like, what? No, I have no idea. And I was not really paying attention to it. And he was talking about it. And he had all these talking about like getting internet money. And I was like, great, let's go. And I wrote it off. And then a couple of weeks later, he presented me with like my first private keys, and he gave me a whole bunch of Bitcoin. And I thought, wow, I don't need this. Like I'm a participant of the Western world. I have a bank account. I have PayPal. I have, what was it called, Skrilla back then. Like I could do like US dollar deposits. No problem for me. That was solved by Bitcoin. And then the price became like, it rose, and I was a poor student, and then I sold all of those Bitcoin back to him because I was in need of a computer component. Like I needed a graphics card, and then I saw them, and I'm like, okay, here you have 1,500 Bitcoin back right at you. It was like 700 euros back then. I to this day own this graphics card. Like it's still running in, I think, my dad's computer. Not the best purchase, like retrospectively, but one of the earlier ones. And that's when I felt like I robbed the bank, because I've gotten something that was entirely for free, and it became money, and I could get like a free graphics card out of it. And to this day, I sometimes wake up sweating and remembering that. But somebody had to do it.
That hurts. That hurts, Steve. I just had last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, I had a guest on the show which had like a similar story, that he bought Bitcoin or heard about Bitcoin when it was like a few bucks only, and then he bought some, but then sold those again or gave them away. I'm like, oh no, he bought them but lost the paper bill
Backup.
that when you buy at the ATM, you get like a paper bill, and he lost that one with the whole phrase and everything.
Oh yeah, you get a QR code, and then
yeah. And
I mean,
was,
nowadays it's
fuck.
also much easier to store Bitcoin. Like nowadays we have these small devices, and they give you like magic words, and like you don't have to do a backup. Back then, like the friend that gave those Bitcoin to me, he was like mining them, and it was just like a button that you push in Bitcoin, like you generated them. It was not even called mining. Like you just generate Bitcoin, free Bitcoin, and when you do a transaction, every time you had to do like update your wallet. Otherwise, like the backup would not include those new transactions. Now we have like deterministic seeds. much easier. And but yeah, I wish it was the last time that I sold Bitcoin without rebuying them. Like, they were like, along the way there are multiple things. Like, I graduated and I went to China and I worked there, and like I saw everybody using like mobile phones to pay for everything. They have like Alipay, and they have like these
Yeah.
everything apps. Like you can like pay from basically WhatsApp, like in every store, and scan a QR code. And like, this was much more like futuristic to me as a German person. Like, German people will be the last nation on earth to probably get rid of cash, because we like cash, and we are confused by like technology, apparently. Like, we used to be a society of engineers and thinkers, and we still use fax machines at an absurd amount in like bureaucracy to this day.
Mhm.
And I think like Bitcoin, I mean, it works for us German people because we like cash, and Bitcoin is digital cash. It's like you can send somebody digitally that only that person can return to you. That like, and it's like really very empowering. But it took me 5 more years after that to understand that. Like, I got back into Bitcoin when it was like a couple $100, and I thought, wow, now it's going to the moon. And then I sold it again, and oh, now we have Ethereum and like all these like Rye blocks like Nano and IOTA. Oh, it's a German shitcoin now. Let's go ape all into this and see it go to like, I don't know, to 10 cents or something. And yeah, my I mean, it's a rabbit hole story. That how did I become a Bitcoin maxi? I would say, like, I refer to myself as a Bitcoin minimalist, not like a maxi. Like, I think um maxi implies that you're like too patronizing. Like, it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, too much shit talking, which I do a fair amount, I have to say. But to me personally, like, I look still to this day abroad the horizon to like other currencies, like on Zcash or even in Bitcoin Cash. There is some interesting cryptographic concepts and interesting monetary experiments going on right now. I would not buy them. I would not hold this token that is trending towards zero against Bitcoin, but you can see very interesting experiments attached to very large bug bounties. So, like, if Bitcoin Cash is experimenting with like dynamic block sizing, that is interesting. But like, I want even smaller blocks than we have right now. But like, let's see how this works out. And there's like a direct amount of money tied to that, and I still look in this. But personally, as a Bitcoin minimalist, I don't see any problem that is not solved by the asset that I now hold. Or no, I don't have any Bitcoin, actually. Yeah. I don't own any Bitcoin anymore. Like, I lost them all.
Okay. Sad story in a sense, but also quite interesting one. Um, it's also funny that you mentioned cash, how the world is going cashless, because I like cash because cash is not traceable. But even today, I ask myself, is it truly not traceable? Can they not trace it in a sense or way, where the state can? I mean, it starts with in Europe, you cannot withdraw like no, in Spain I actually saw that if you now withdraw over $3,000 in cash, you have to report that to the tax agency. I mean, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
I
It's
was
it's
confused
cash.
by that. Like, what was that? I thought it was like a fake news because I was looking and it's only one
Yeah,
article.
yeah,
But I would not put it past the European Union to like enact something like this European, like, wide. It's yeah, cash itself is difficult to trace. I mean, all of those bills are numbered unless you pay in coins.
yeah.
Once you deposit those, I'm pretty sure that those numbers in an ATM will be like phoned back home. And if it was like, I don't know, a bank robber or an extortion thing, like they will write down those notes, and they will probably trace it to some amount.
Mhm.
It is much better than like telegraphic transfer, like SEPA or like Swift or whatever, or PayPal, which is like not money at all, or all of those
Yeah.
things. But yeah, I mean, there are already nations in Europe where you don't have cash anymore. Like, try to pay for something with cash in Sweden, like they will look at you funny. like in America, like try to pay something in cash above $20, they will look at you like, are you a drug dealer? Like
Yeah,
everybody like pays with their credit cards. And yeah, you're
yeah,
giving up freedom.
and credit card, which are like really bad for you because when you look at like the percentage, the VAT number, where you I mean, I just saw an ad like 80% VAT. I'm like, what the fuck? So if I pay something like for $100, I'm gonna pay 180, you know? And it's like literally like from weeks and days, it went like from 50 to 70, now to 80, and they even saw like one for 90%, you know? I'm like, okay, dude, 90% credit card fees, you know, and then all those extra fees that come together, and then taxes, and like, yeah, sure.
Okay. I
So
haven't seen those. Like I try to pay with Bitcoin wherever it is
yeah,
accepted. Like I'm looking forward to my trip to Vegas next or this week. Yeah, I'm headed to Vegas on
yeah, this
Sunday.
week, dude.
Yeah, this week. But I catch my flight. Maybe they're not letting me in. Maybe I will end up in an El Salvadorian prison. I don't know. Like I'm looking forward to paying like with Bitcoin again at the conference or at a Shake Shack or whatever. Or if
Mm.
I end up in El Salvador, I can also pay in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
They have widely accepted there. But other than that, like I try to it would be stupid in a fiat world not to leverage like this credit stuff. Like making debt is what people want you to do. I can't really sleep well with debt, but like a little bit of credit
yeah.
card debt, like for like 1 month, you get like insane amount of like cashback in terms of like free flyer miles or whatever. um I, as a business owner, as like a vendor or a merchant, I see the hidden cost on that because like I pay through the nose if people pay in my shop with a credit card. But
Mm.
as a consumer, it's great. I get something back. I have a small fee that I don't see. But yeah, this is not something that is sustainable, and we see the
That's
effects
the
of that.
that's the word, consuming. People always want to consume more. And I think with Bitcoin they can consume, but it's a different consuming, you know? It's something for your future and not for now. Or if you want to use it now, then fine. Do it, you know, do it. I don't mind. But when I think about the future, I don't think about myself. I think about my family, about my children, about my grandchildren. And in a sense, it's perfect for them. Especially how will the world look in 100 years? I don't know. I mean, Christine Lagarde just said this year that she wants to implement a CBDC in October or September, somewhere around there, you know? So
I mean, I'm
there you
just
go.
yesterday I saw that the GNU Taler project is live in Switzerland, like the first eCash
Okay.
project. Have you seen that? The Taler project. Taler as like in the ancient currency Taler, and the T literally in this it's an initialism. The T stands for taxable. So they made an
Huh.
eCash of a currency that only has sender privacy allegedly and no receiver privacy because they want to tax you. So you can't, like, essentially you also don't have sender privacy because if every merchant knows what's up and has to report it, like there is no
Yeah.
privacy. And they will try to roll that out as quickly as possible because they see what is happening in the world. They see what's happening with the bond market. They see like a lot of banks having trouble on the horizon, and then you see like Bitcoin, which is actually like it's the first time the stock markets crash, and like the only thing that's is up is like Bitcoin and maybe MicroStrategy.
Yep.
Like it's there is some decoupling to be like noticed right now, and they know I think what's coming.
I would be, it would be interesting to see what would have happened, or what could happen, you know, if a war would break out. That's always interesting for me to see, because when World War I and World War II broke out, the only thing that survived and didn't crash was gold. Gold even got, you know, got the price went even up, you know, during the war. So for me, it would be interesting to see how Bitcoin would perform in a war, if it would go up, if it would
Yeah,
go
I
down,
mean,
or
I
if,
would be happy if we didn't have to see
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
me neither, me neither, me neither, you know.
yeah. But I mean, you
But
can
still,
see it like in a local environment. Like I have a friend, she fled from like she was studying in Kharkov in eastern Ukraine, and then before the
mhm,
war broke out, she went to Kiev, and she didn't take her passport with her because she thought, oh, this is just another, one of those attempts, and nothing is going to happen. And then it happened, and then she could never return. And then she came to Germany, and didn't have her passport and had to wait for a long time and see whether she can stay as a refugee. And because she was already studying like cryptography at the university and working in an Ukrainian startup that had to do with Bitcoin, she had a small
Mm.
amount of Bitcoin. Like the Ukrainian currency, like is absolutely worthless. Like if you take it across a border, like to Germany, like,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna give you anything for that. And with Bitcoin, you have this on your body, like this is your Bitcoin. You can keep the secret safe. And now to this day, like now she lives in Amsterdam, but she lives on Bitcoin, and it's very, very easy. And yeah, you stay mobile and agile. Like that is very empowering. Like I don't want to see another war, but I
Yeah.
think Bitcoin would be the currency both for like the refugees as well as all the other evil people. Like Bitcoin does not judge, the blockchain doesn't judge. Like Bitcoin is
Yeah.
for everybody.
And how do we know that not maybe some, I don't know, evil guy uses, like, buys Bitcoin at a good price and then sells those at high prices and then uses that money for war or for weapons, you don't know that, right? And Bitcoin also doesn't know that who you are when you buy something.
Yeah, I
So
mean, the great thing
but
about Bitcoin is you can only sell it once. Like once you've sold it, like
yeah.
there is no cantillionary effect where like, oh, I'm rich now. I don't have to provide any value whatsoever, and like just my net worth will increase. Like with Bitcoin, you have to constantly either provide value or you have to spend your Bitcoin, and then it will be very meritocratically like distributed sooner or later. And yeah, I mean, in the eyes of the blockchain, a Russian warlord or like an oligarch, like he can buy his boats whether you like it or not. And the
Yeah.
same goes for people that are repressed in an authoritarian regime. Like it is very, very difficult once people have Bitcoin and there is an economy that's, goods and services are being traded in a Bitcoin, like to prohibit that.
Okay. Cool. We kind of got sidetracked there. I
It's
actually wanted
my
to ask
rabbit
you
hole
something
story.
else. Yeah, your rabbit hole story talking about wars and Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
um
It's like our
so
German people always mentioning the war. I'm sorry.
yeah. Well, you have a history. No, so how then did you eventually end up being CEO of Chris Seedor, of Seedor, Chris? How did
So
that
that,
come to place, and also many other companies that you
yeah.
have?
So I'm a material scientist. Like
Hmm.
I studied mechanical engineering, and I am like a hobby coder. I can do a little bit of Java, a little bit of MATLAB, but I'm too stupid to write like C++ or like Python or whatever, like to give back to the Bitcoin ecosystem. And yeah, Bitcoin was good to me, and I thought like, what can I provide as value to this ecosystem? And as a material scientist, I know about stainless steel and other materials, and I thought, let's make a Bitcoin backup. And together with my business partner Ihan, who's also like he's a civil engineer, we designed a nice toolkit to help you emboss your private keys, because we looked what is on the market and we were not satisfied. There were a lot of different shortcomings here and there, and we took the best of all of them, and I think we made a really nifty solution. And initially I thought, oh, this is just like a passion project. Now it is my actually full-time Bitcoin job. Like it was the reception was very warm, very welcome. We've sold like tens of thousands of these steel tubes. Every time I think like, I've been an actual engineer. Like I worked on cars, I worked on airplanes, I worked on rockets, but this is my legacy now. Like this small steel tube has probably touched more people than anything else I've done. And there's probably like hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin stored on these small devices. And they went, like, some of them went through my hands. And I think that's magical. That's how I started with like Bitcoin storage. And then I
Hmm.
thought, I mean, uh, I don't think I've lost Bitcoin. I've spent them stupidly, but I've heard a lot of people lose Bitcoin. and a storage solution is a good first step, but is there more that you can do? And I thought, yeah, what's the next thing? Bitcoin inheritance sounds like something that there is a gap in coverage, because people, don't grow 150 years old. Sooner or later, you will have to give your private keys to somebody. And that's when I, started Satskeeper together with Joe. He works at Bitbox, and that's where we, consult people on how to properly secure your Bitcoin with inheritance in mind. And there are some fantastic solutions nowadays where you can use the power of the blockchain, like with time locks, where you can just hand over the keys after you kick the bucket. Like at no point while you're still alive do you have to give somebody who you trust like anything. Like you can just, once you are inactive, only then your Bitcoin become transferable. And that's what we do there. And then lastly, how do you protect yourself against cryptographically? You can protect yourself great against hacking, and we have these smart devices like the Bitbox, stuff like this that helps you to secure it against hackers. And this helps you against like fire and water damage. But what do you do if somebody kicks your door in and threatens you? And
Yeah.
we see like hundreds of cases worldwide every day. Somebody who is in crypto, and everybody who is in crypto is probably also to some degree a Bitcoiner. They get robbed or attacked. And once somebody has physical access to you, it's very difficult to weigh your Bitcoin versus your health. And that's how Bitsurance was born. Like, we were worldwide the first company to sign policies against robbery and extortion
Mhm.
for Bitcoin in self-custody. And so I try to be useful, and that's how those things came about. And
I hope my door doesn't get kicked down, because currently I'm in my bedroom and I'm watching the door now that you mentioned door kicking down and robbery. And hey, dude, I even hate it when when I go to the toilet and I'm like in a coffee or restaurant and my MacBook is open on the table. I hate that. And when I have to go like for somewhere else, even for 1 minute, I hate it. When I see
yeah
my computer on the table, I'm like, should I close it and take it with me, or should I keep it there and hope for the best?
I mean,
I hate.
those are mostly private information. Like, this is maybe some privacy
Yeah,
implications, but now we have the money in the computer, and like Bitcoin is just a secret. Like, you need to keep this secure, and it's like, yeah, and it will become. Right now, it's already like not dangerous, I would say, but there are a lot of cases where like people get extorted or robbed or lose access to
mhm,
like their digital devices. And the way Bitcoin is going right now, this is a number that will only increase in the future. And then you and I, we are vocal, we are public, we are trying to spread the good message of Satoshi. And that
yeah,
comes with a detriment, because like I all have a great deal of respect for people like Kale. Like, he does the eCash stuff, and he's like hiding his face, and that is a smart thing to do. I think the best protection against extortion of your Bitcoin is to not tell people that you have Bitcoin. Don't be stupid
yeah,
like us.
and also telling the state that you have Bitcoin, especially now with those new laws coming into place. People, AMLA, uh, DAC8, that DAC8, that's like also another one. Mika, all those licenses, rules. I mean, they are pretty
Yeah,
disturbing for me. They
the
they they
government.
make me they make me feel sick in a sense, but
Yeah, the government does government things. Like, in
yeah,
their wellest of intentions, they're trying to protect you, and they need all those anti money laundering laws, and they need we need to protect all financial advisors or people
yeah,
against
yeah,
poor financial advice. Like, people have been talking shit about Bitcoin for 10 years. Had they not done so, like, a lot of people would have been far better off. And I mean, we know for a fact that like these AML laws, they do not reduce crime. They do not reduce financial crime. What they do
no,
is create a lot of honeypots. Like, just now, we see Coinbase They were just very
Yeah.
high on their, oh, we made it to the Nasdaq because like some company merged. Now we're like in the top 50, and we're like, oh, by the way, we're getting extorted because only 1% of our customer base has been like stolen because we like pay the lowest sub employee somewhere, and he like was bribed into giving out like not just names but like actual like passport, driver's licenses, documents like that. um like, and it's apparently only 1% of the customers, but I in my personal like field of friends and
Yeah.
relatives know people that get very sophisticated phishing emails right now. And I don't think all of these people are in the 1% of those like it's must be much more. And it's like a story as old as time. Like they collect data that they don't like treat with the appropriate like respect, and then they get hacked or leaked or yeah.
Yeah.
So AML laws are to the detriment mostly of like consumers, I think.
KYC, that's the problem. Because the more KYC you have and got, the more dangerous it gets also for you. That's why I'm a little bit skeptical about all those rules that are now being put in place. I mean, or all those projects that are similar to a CBDC, like open software, digital cash, digital centralized cash. I mean, yeah, well, you can do that, but what if you get hacked one day? Or what if there's like a power outage and electricity is down like for weeks? Well, how should we use that digital way of cash that you
Yeah,
want
if
to
it's like a
implement?
centralized server, like that's a problem. With
Especially,
Bitcoin,
yeah,
like my node goes down regularly because like I'm I do poor channel management on whatever, but like the Bitcoin network does not care. Like we have, I think
yeah,
I don't think there is a single network that has a longer uninterrupted uptime than Bitcoin. I'm not sure. Like maybe like the OG DNS servers, whatever, some, but like Bitcoin
yeah,
is so resilient, and like that is also the magical thing. Like you can participate in this without doing KYC procedures. Like that is, and to this day I meet people. Like I was just in Hanover. I was talking with like a lot of like lawyers and tax accountants. They attended like a talk, and I did like 120 slides about Bitcoin, and they came to me, and I in the end I give them 1,000 Satoshi. And I tell them like download this Blink wallet and I will send it to you. And they're like, oh, how do I like register with my ID? Like, no, you don't. Like you just
yeah,
download an app. You can give your phone number, whatever, if you want like a backup.
yeah.
But like you can participate in this without all this bullshit. And the best data is like data that you do not collect. So
And also we don't know who Satoshi still is. I mean, we know who the guy behind Ethereum is, the guy behind Cardano, Solana. We all know. We even know who the CEO of Coinbase is, or Binance, or I don't know, Revolut, for example, the neobank, which are also Bitcoin and crypto friendly, right? And we do know all those people, and if you know those people, they are a target, or you are a target, especially if you're like a
yeah,
CEO
there
of
are
a
times.
famous
I mean,
country. Yeah,
you just like today or yesterday there was like Pavel Durov, the guy who founded
yeah,
Telegram. Like he was being asked to censor free speech, and he said like, no, fuck you. And then like he was arrested like a couple months earlier. Like if there is a person that can be attacked or like put pressure on, it will happen.
yeah.
Like that is the greatest gift that Satoshi has given us, is like to just walk away. Like whether he's dead, whether it was just one person or it was many, like it was like he knew what he had at his hand. Like he, like it was not just an experiment. Like he took a lot of precautions to hide his identity. And like yeah, I mean there's no point of failure, single point of failure, or like an attack angle with a founder like that. And that is like yeah, another great thing.
And even more great thing is that it's something that you know connects everybody. I mean, it doesn't matter if you are like, I mean, I make an example. You're like engineering, right? You're a computer scientist. I like arts. I mean, I could sell my art in Bitcoin to you, and you could sell your Seedor stamp in Bitcoin to me, right?
Yeah,
Like that's how it works, and that's the cool thing. I don't need to be more. I mean, back then, I guess you need to be really technical. You needed some IT background, I guess, back then when it came out. But just nowadays, like in 2025, it's pretty simple to learn about Bitcoin and how it works and what the
There, yeah, there's
laws
a
are and
ton of education out there. There's a ton of podcasts where
exactly.
people give you like the rundown, and like it's so much easier to store your own keys. It's so much easier to spend it. There is so much more adoption. Like I'm pretty sure we do not have the market capitalization of gold, but we have so much more
No.
merchant adoption than gold. Like try to pay with gold anywhere. Like gold
Yeah.
is actually universally accepted on every single continent, but so is Bitcoin nowadays. You can't say that about the euro. Like they will laugh at you if
No.
you pull out the euro in Argentina. Like I find crazy
Dude.
people in Singapore that accept Bitcoin, and like I can go with Bitcoin to any place on earth, and they will like do stuff for me or sell me a ham sandwich. Like
Dude, that example just I can't pay with euro, a German currency, in Argentina. That was like perfect.
yes, I mean like I mean there is a lot of German people in Argentina. Again, like we should like change the topic, but
Yeah.
like I mean, the United States dollar is very powerful. Like people probably in the Czech Republic would accept like the dollar if you like wave $100 bill in front of their face.
Yeah.
But like more universal, I think, is actually Bitcoin these days. And I have like I travel quite a lot, and I don't think I have found a single nation in the last like 3 or 4 years where I didn't find some like-minded people. Like, of course, you
Mhm.
can't go in every Aldi and pay in Bitcoin now, but I can go on Vexel and find somebody who sells me honey or apples or like gives me guitar
Mhm.
lessons or sells me like Bitcoin for cash or whatever. Like no KYC, peer-to-peer as it was intended. And yeah, this
Yeah.
is only growing. I don't see a downtrend.
That's the thing, peer to peer. I mean, if in future times that's the only way to buy Bitcoin, then you have to do it like that, as it also was intended to, as we were
I
intended to do
absolutely
so. I mean,
think like in 10, 15 years, let's say 15 years,
Mhm.
I'm not sure if Coinfinity or Relay or like 21 Bitcoin, if they will have Bitcoin to sell. Maybe they will become like the new Indeed or whatever job application search, like where you can like work for Bitcoin. Oh, you want Bitcoin?
Mhm.
You gotta do this kind of work to get it. Like you have to work for it, or you have to, yeah, buy it peer to peer from somebody. Like I'm waiting for a supply shock. Like we are mining 450 Bitcoin a day. Thousands of Bitcoin are being traded every day, and they go into ETFs and large companies and like medium sized companies, and hopefully even more so in the hands of plebs. And sooner or later, like Coinbase can't like keep the charade up and have like 22 million Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Like they can only sell paper Bitcoin for so long, I think. And then we have something that is utterly unique to Bitcoin. This has never happened before in human society, where you have a good that no matter how high the demand for it is, you can't make more of. Like there
Yeah.
is no such thing. Like you can, I mean, Michael Saylor always says you can't make more Miami real estate beachfront property. Yes, you can. Like, look at Dubai. They like build
Yeah.
islands.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
can, if I have enough money, I can build more beachfront property. If the silver price or the dollar price of like silver goes up, like I will sooner or later melt in everything that I have in silver, and there will be more silver, or it becomes more economical to dig deeper into the ground. But like, no matter like the price of Bitcoin, you can't mine more. We know the emission schedule. And if people don't sell it, the price will skyrocket.
Unless Satoshi wakes up one day and says, "Okay, fuck it, another 21 million. Let's make 42 million in total." So
He can do that. Like if he wakes up and does that, like there will be a fork, and I guarantee you nobody will use it because like I mean
yeah.
there
Yeah.
there have been experiments with like tail emission. Like if you look at Monero, there's something called
Mhm.
demurrage. Like every Bitcoin or every Monero block gives out more Monero. So there are ideas like Peter Todd is talking about this, and it's a very, very unpopular idea. I think, you can, it's open source code. You can change anything in
Yeah.
Bitcoin, but by far, I think the one that we agree on the most, we have our differences. Like the supply cap is the last thing that we are talking about. Like, we will, I don't know if there's like some quantum computing thing and we can mine or like break the pay to pubkey Bitcoin. There will be some discussion if we fork those UTXOs out or whatever. But like the supply cap, I'm pretty sure is the last thing that will be changed.
Yeah,
Or at least I will not change it and then run my own Bitcoin and I will dump the other one.
or that. But let's quickly go back also to those laws now and taxation laws, and because that's what basically all those new laws implemented by the EU is about, taxation. And they can't steal your money, especially Bitcoin and crypto. I'm doing this, by the way, because I try to separate Bitcoin from crypto. But anyway, and but they will do it through taxing. And there's this new law called AMLA where they can track you through. Let's say you buy Bitcoin in a at a exchange, like let's take Relay for example. Um, and you buy with your credit card Bitcoin. They can track that now. And if you buy like $50, they don't care, right? Because $50 is like nothing. But
Now
if
they
you
don't care. Like $50
yeah,
gets
now they
you
don't care, you
50,000
know?
Satoshi. Let's say in 10 years or in 20 years, I don't know what the block reward is in 20 years, but it will be very low and those 50,000 Satoshi will look substantial. And then they have that
Yeah,
data. They have that, and then they
yeah,
will go back. By the way, does Giannis, who stacked those 50,000 sats, did he pay taxes on, or did he hold
yeah,
them
yeah,
long enough to
yeah.
not pay taxes? Like they will collect all of those data, points.
And exactly that is the problem. We don't know where they're gonna start or how far they are going. So my question now for you is, as the CEO of Seedor, do you have to take place in that? Do you have to deal with that? And privacy wise, how is that, connected with everything? Do you have
So
to
yeah,
do that?
privacy wise, like I always say, like the best data is the one that you don't have. From a legal
Mhm.
standpoint, I have to store every invoice for 10 years. So if I sell
Okay.
something, I have to store it for 10 years. What I do is I anonymize everything on Shopify, and this will be deleted online within 30 days. And with Amazon, I think the minimum is just 41 days. I can't go lower. And then I have like an offline paper copy of those invoices. So, and there you only see like the country because I sell worldwide and there are different taxes. And then if I'm being asked by the IRS, by the way, year 2023, provide this invoice. Did you properly file your VAT, whatever? I can provide that information, and then like I can destroy that after they checked for 1 year. So
Okay.
I try to like, this is the worst nightmare that any Bitcoin merchant can have, is that your shop, your online shop is getting hacked. And because people like buy stuff and return stuff, like I have a minimum amount of time where I have to like keep those that information online. But as soon as that return window has run out, everything is then anonymized. And if like Shopify gets hacked, like that's why we use Shopify, because like they are much bigger stores than mine. If a problem like this would occur, like yeah, a lot more people would be affected. But like I always encourage people to like send stuff to a parcel station, send stuff into a post
Yeah.
office, try to get a PO box or something. They are not that expensive, and try to like think about what kind of data you provide, or like ship products that are sensitive to your workplace, not to your like private address, or go to a meetup and again buy it peer to peer, and try to not leave like a paper trail. Because yeah, I mean, I get Ledger scam calls to this day. Like, I've only ever had a single mobile phone number in my entire life, because I always like frugally port my contract, and I try to keep one mobile phone number. And yeah, if you've been in the Ledger League from, what is it, 2017, like it
Yeah.
gets annoying. I've moved, but it gets annoying, and like try to limit your exposure to that.
So law-wise with AMLA and Mikan DAC 8, DAC 8, or whatever it's called in German, um, you don't really have to deal with that in a
Yeah,
sense. You
so
have to deal with
I have
privacy-wise,
to
you have
deal
to
with like the
delete it
regular
and
the taxation stuff,
Bullshit. Yeah.
like and accounting. I have to deal with that. But like with Amla, Mika, and all those things, since
Okay.
we do not touch the coins at Seedor,
Yeah.
like we are not a crypto Verwahrdienstleister, or like we are not a service provider. Because I mean, you can store your philosophy, whatever, your poetic musings on these. Like we provide you order letters. It does not have to be a private key. It can be a private key. Everything can be a
Mhm.
private key. Like it's just information that you store there. And yeah, I mean, they're not going to outlaw that, hopefully, but I'm not affected yet.
I mean, I don't trust them in a sense. You know, I don't trust
They
them
will
in
try.
a single sense. They will try. They will try. But how is it that also with Bit Insurance, that the insurance one that you just, what's the name
Yes.
again? The
So
BTC
with
Insurance. No,
Bitsurance, we also do not store
Insurance. Yeah.
keys.
Hmm.
There, of course, in the event of a robbery or an extortion, you have to do the
Hmm.
KYC with the police. You have to provide
Yeah.
like your identity, and that is then checked with either the fire department or the police. And then when we reimburse you for your stolen Bitcoin, as of right now, this occurs in fiat. So you get your Bitcoin stolen, and we give you like the fiat amount, and then you can go on and purchase those at an exchange, because we can't sell Bitcoin and we can't provide you with the Bitcoin, because we can't, as an insurance company, keep the Bitcoin on the balance, because as of right now, Bitcoin is not it's not counted against it's a even though it's the best performing asset in history from a financial standpoint, as an insurer, you can't have it as a collateral, sadly.
No.
But we are moving towards this, and we're looking to be fully like pay us in Bitcoin, and we pay out in Bitcoin. But that is a long and arduous process, and you're talking with ancient people in the insurance industry. But I'm optimistic, and again, we are very early, so we have time.
Yeah. We are early, but the thing is with earliness, not just you are early. Not, I mean, not I'm not early. You are not early. Also, other people are early. That's the main issue. I think, and you know, this whole bullshit with all those laws, that's just in the EU. If I go to the US, yeah, they also have their laws, or the UAE, or the Saudis, or the Qataris, they also have their laws. But they let people alone, you know, they let people be. And I think Europe is just so far back when it comes to money, technology, history in general. They're just so far back. I mean, best example, China, AI hub of the world. US hub of the, I don't know, industry, engineering, army, everything. And then you see Europe, and you see like those, you know, like those plastic caps from the bottles that they
We
don't
have
fall off. They have like this
regulation.
connection. Yeah, or we have regulation, people.
Yeah.
So
Number one in regulation.
number one regulation. but
Yeah, gotta be
but
number one in something. I mean, yeah, it can seem
eh,
frustrating, and I agree to an extent. I still have not given up entirely on Europe. I think Europe is great. Like
yeah,
I'm not looking to move in the near term future, and I think I'm always very surprised on how decent the taxation law is, specifically in Germany, where like you hold it for 1 year and you're fine. Like in Austria, like you're taxed forever. Like the same
yeah,
goes in America. Like in America, you always have capital gains tax. And that is, I think, the number one reason why it is not more widely adopted as a medium of exchange. As soon as you lift that, nobody who is sane in their right mind would store their wealth in fiat. Like they would
yeah,
just have as little exposure to fiat as possible. As soon as it comes in, buy Bitcoin and then spend it in form of Bitcoin. Taxation is the only thing that keeps people from spending it in that way, I think. And maybe, I don't know, Donald Trump, the self-proclaimed crypto president, maybe he will do something in that direction. We can only hope. If he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like we have not already
yeah,
won, but we are on the course of winning. Like sooner or later, like we have time.
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say anything about the US because in 3 days I will travel to the US. So I'm staying quiet right now. I'm just, I don't want to get arrested, dude. So
Yeah, no,
because I know
I have
NSI is.
I don't have Nayib's cell phone number, but I think I can probably call Lina Seiche, and she will maybe put a
Okay.
good word in if I'm like in one of those El Salvadoran prisons,
I mean,
like.
I, I mean, you never know, because you never know if the CIA or NSA or FBI are watching. I mean,
Of course, they're watching, or
they are
maybe
they
we
are
are
watching.
CIA. I don't
Yeah, yeah,
know.
or maybe we are.
But yeah,
Um,
we will see each other in Vegas, hopefully.
yeah, hopefully. So, dear people, I think that's it with the episode. I mean, do you have anything else to say, Chris, before we can end this episode? And could you maybe also share your social media with us so people can find you and track you
Yeah, I
and
mean,
hunt you down? And oh,
yeah, I go by @Coinjoined on Twitter. There I will post an absurd amount of cringe memes if you're into that. And if you have any question about Bitcoin, inheritance, storage, and/or insurance, I'm always more than happy to talk. Chris @Seedor.io or @Bitsurance.eu or @Satskeeper.com. Like, it's always Chris @ You can write an email, and I read all of those emails because my next relatives and friends and family, they are tired of me talking about Bitcoin. I'm always looking for
okay.
new ideas and improvements and feedback to the products that I sell. Yeah, it was great. Thank you for having me, and see you on US soil.
See you on US soil, hopefully. So, yeah, dear people,
Maybe
that was
release it
another.
like after we landed.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
Release it on Monday.
Okay. Okay, okay, I probably will. So, dear people, that was another episode of Noma Podcast. For me, it was probably the funniest one I had in a while. So, Chris, thank you for joining me today, and see you in Las Vegas, hopefully. So, bye bye.
Vegas, baby.
Vegas, baby. Bye bye.
Nomad Podcast.